English capitalization rules might seem straightforward, but if you watch further, you'll see they're a bit more complicated than they at first appear. When you normally think about capitalization rules, you'll hear things like, oh, it's quite simple, the start of the sentence, proper nouns, and first person singular pronoun I. All done. Very quick video. Next, please. But it's not quite that straightforward. So we'll look first at proper nouns and the start of the sentence. Now, while proper nouns, and they are things like Bob, Jane, Tuesday, January, Jupiter, Mars, Pluto, brand names, this is where we come into, they all start with a capital letter. But some brand names have been sort of assimilated into the language. And we'll take two examples, for instance, Hoover and Google. Now, Hoover is the company that makes vacuum cleaners, or the original company that made vacuum cleaners. And Google, as we all know, is everywhere on the internet, especially in search engines. And although both of these words, Hoover and Google, are actually company names and proper nouns, they've kind of been assimilated into the language. And so when we say things like, I'm just going to go and Hoover the lounge, we wouldn't use a capital H on Hoover. Or if we say to someone, oh, I'm not sure, I think I'll just go and Google it quickly, we wouldn't use a capital G on Google. We use a small g because it's not being used as a proper noun. It's been converted into something more everyday. And even when you say, well, the start of the sentence, that's going to be a capital always. Well, no, it's not, because we're coming back to proper nouns again. And if the proper noun starts with a lowercase letter, as in eBay or iPhone, even when that's at the very start of the sentence as the first word, you would still write it with a small letter. And if you really can't bring yourself to do this, the only thing you can do is to sort of restructure the sentence so that this name of the product is not the very first word. Now, the good news is that the first person singular pronoun I is always uppercase. There's no exceptions to it. And it's probably a good question. Well, why is this? Why is this the only one? I mean, he, she, it, we, you, they, they're all lowercase. Why is I different? And there's a good answer for this. And the reason is because we write it in uppercase, and there seems to be no rhyme or reason to it. It just seems we write it in uppercase because we write it in uppercase. So, but the good news is you tend to learn these right at the very start, and they're usually not a problem for later on. So that was the sort of preamble, what you would normally hear as the simple rules for capitalization. But there are other situations, for instance, in letters and emails. So we look at, say, a letter or an email. A typical letter might start, "Dear Mr. Brown, comma, new line, many thanks for your letter." And the first letter of this many thanks would be in capitals because it's treated as a new thing, although technically it actually isn't, but it's a convention that we use. And this also carries over to emails. So we'll have a kind of slightly more informal an email. "Hi Bob, comma, return. Did you have a great time yesterday as well?" And the D in did is also capital, just by convention. The other place that you'll see capital letters used that aren't the start of a sentence is with poetry, and particularly traditional poetry. And the convention here is that every line starts with a capital letter. So if we take a very cheesy Valentine's Day type thing, the old classic, "Roses are red, violets are blue, sugar is sweet, and so are you." We'll do a few variations just to keep it light. Two favourite variations of mine. One is, "Roses are red, cabbages are green. My face is a laugh, but yours is a scream. And my absolute favourite one is roses are red, violets are blue. Some poems rhyme, but this one doesn't. Just love that. And the other place you'll find poetry or literature is the letter O if it's used as a form of address. So you'll see this, let's take the Odyssey, for example. It'll be, tell me, O muse, of that ingenious hero who travelled far and wide, blah, 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 blah. That O in this case is also capital. It's almost like a form of address. And lastly, we come on to things like titles and headings. Now there's several options you have here. You can either capitalize the first word only in the title or heading, or you can capitalize every single word, or you can capitalize just the significant words. And you'll see the examples here on the screen. There is no preferred one. There's no right way and wrong way. But the important thing is that you're consistent. So you choose one version and then you use that consistently all the way through your document or presentation. I personally prefer the last one where we capitalize the significant words. So things like and, on, in. We leave those lowercase, but like headings and titles and headings, I would put a capital T and a capital H. Did any of these slightly non-standard variations on capital use surprise you? Or were they all things you knew already? Please do let me know in the comments below. I really like to read what you have to say. Hope you found the video informative and instructive. If so, please click the thumbs up and please also subscribe to the channel to keep up to date. We'll see you next week. Bye for now.